So the style that I'm doing today is box braids and layers as well. So I'm doing box braids in the back, layers in the top towards the front of her head. I'm using two different colors, the color of her head and black. And see, she has a trouble area here. So when I do her hair, I'm going to do it in a way where I cover her spot.
Okay.
So you won't see her spot. I use different type of products, name brand products, really expensive products. It's not all about the type of product, it's how you use it and, what are you doing. And these are all products that you can buy in the beauty supply, any beauty supply. And I just collect those, to show, you can use cheaper products than using really expensive products. Just put it on my hand. I use this so I get grip better. People here are different, so I use grease and I use a nice little amount of hair, not too thin. I want it to be a little thick. I sometimes separate, man. People braid different. Certain people braid on top like this and start braiding down. Other people separate the hair. I separate the hair to make it longer, so it all can be one length when I'm finished with our braid. I put mine between my fingers. This is how I separate it, so that my pointer finger can have the most control when grabbing the hair. Smooth her hair out. Wrap the hair around. Now my pointer finger still has the most control. And I just braid on down. So she's going to have single braids in the back. Like I said, box braid. I use a little gel, but sometimes the hair is like little loose hairs you can't see. I put them on all three sides so it can be smooth. Some people braid under, over, so it don't matter how you braid. It's just, what fits you, how comfortable your hands are.
And it seems like this should be real easy to take care of and maintain once it's all up, right?
Yep. It's very easy to maintain because all you have to do, like what I have here, like some people can buy just braid spray. Sometimes your braids is really, really tight. It's best to buy something that's going to loosen it up. I chose this one. I really like this one.
Okay.
Your braids are so tight, you can't really sleep, so you need something to loosen that up a little bit. And then you can also just go by to the beauty supply once again, buy you any grease, that you choose to use, what's best for you and your hair. Grease your scalp, tie it up at night. That's it. It's a get up and go style. Start with the braids and the Poetic Justice braids or box braids. When you braiding, it's best to braid all the way to the end. You really don't want to leave too much hair because yes, the hair is smooth, but it will nap up if you leave too much. So you want to braid all the way to the end as far as you can go, because when you dip it into hot water, that's what's going to lock the hair and make it stay. And once again, you want to keep in mind to use your gel or your jam, whatever you prefer to use, to keep it nice and smooth. So that's as far as I can go. And I do not cut the ends because it leave it kind of choppy. I do put just a tad bit of glue inside the hair, so when it dry you will not see it. I hold it together so it won't be too separate, because I want it to be straight and smooth, and your end is going to look like that until you dip it in the hot water. When you dip it in the hot water, that's when you cut the excess off and you're going to have a nice little piece of smooth hair. So we're going back into the same process again. Like I told you before, I separate my hair to make it longer so all the braids can be the same length. Separate it between my fingers so my pointer can have the most control. And you also can see, like, when you use the gel and jam, it takes the natural hair and blends it in with the weave. so it's an easier braid, and it lasts longer, it is tighter, you know, and it's a better result. And you always want your braids to look the same. You do not want, because sometimes when you're braiding, you can lose control and the hair can get a little different from the regular braid, so it can be looser or tighter than what you already started. Now, if you tend to lose your place, you just look at where you left off. That's when a gel is very good, because it keeps the hair very wet, so you can see very well where you left off at. You just go back in, get it tight, start off with what I left off, go under, go under, go under. The third piece already going over, so I don't have to say go under and over. So you just go under where you left off. Keep it tight so it can be uniform all the way down. If you get to a road where you have one short hair and two pieces of long hair, you always go in, separate some of the piece that's long to add with the shorter hair, and continue to braid down so they all can be the same length once again, to keep the same length. But for people who like starting off to learn how to braid with weave, I feel this hair is the best type of hair.
And what kind of hair is that?
It's Kankaline. It's premium. It comes very, very, very long. So if you know, you might see some hair and you don't know which one it is. It's the longest hair they have. This is the longest braiding hair I have saw. So that's why I chose this one. Because a lot nowadays, you know, girls don't want to wear their braids short. Everybody want to wear them very long. So.
And then with the thinner the braid, more time you take. Cause I've seen like the African. So how is this any different from like when the African do their braids, African braids?
Well, a little bit, because when they do theirs, you know, they use Pink Protection. They use a different brand of Kankaline. They do not use this brand, and I think they get theirs shipped. A lot of, you know, African shops that I've been in, they had theirs shipped from somewhere else. So that's one advantage that they have over us, because they usually don't shop at regular beauty supplies. But this is the best hair that's closest to what they have, but the hair that they do use is a little more nappier. It's a Kankaline, but it's nappy. It's different type of Kankaline hair. So you might want to watch the one that you're getting, because for box braids and braids that's like this, you don't want the very nappy Kankaline hair, because it's like Ultra Braid Premium. And this is the front. Still a Kankaline, but this is just how the packet look. Okay, now sometimes when you're doing these braids, your hair, some of the hair can be longer than the others. So you can continue to braid down, but you try to match it up with the longest one that you have, which is this one. I have one short one, which is just on her end, but it's going to blend in. So I'm not going to cut too much of the excess hair off so it can blend in with the rest. But this braid here will be longer than them. So what I will do is stop at where I left off on the other two, and then just cut the excess hair after that, so they won't be longer than the other, and they'll all be the same length. Caucasian person as well, because I love to do round brush on their hair, because it leaves perfect feathered curls in their hair, or flips. You know, I can do both sides. It don't matter what type of hair you have. I can do it all. That goes with doing hair. You know, if it's something that you love, and you got to know how to do everything. You can't be scared. You got to jump out of that, because you don't make mistakes, you make discoveries. Oh, I messed up. It's not gonna look right. This look horrible. And they'll be like, girl, you ain't messed that up. You just made a new style. You know, that's what comes with the beauty industry. It changes daily, every day. It's nothing the same. You get something new all the time. And some people do theirs, started off differently. Some people start off with a smaller row already and just do the box braids all the way across. I do mine differently. I do it in a way where you don't see a lot of scalp, but you do see a lot of scalp. Like, I'm starting off like this, boxes all the way across. I part down, part across to give me a perfect box. As you can see, it's a perfect box. This is a real box braid. You know, people try to do micros and call them box braids, but that's not what it is. Box braids are boxes of braids. You also want all your clips. Like I said, sometimes I start off sectioning my hair first, so I don't have to keep going back and forth trying to section, and it's just a waste of time. So I do them little by little. I just make my sections and go in like from there. Are better than micros when people have like trouble hair, people who, you know, have really short hair, or people who hair is really thin but don't want to put too much weave in their hair, I think jumbo size braids are the best, because when you take a little piece of hair of somebody's hair and it's really thin and you put in that micro hair in that little, and they kept steady moving and twisting and pinning up their hair, it's doing nothing but twisting their hair and twisting their hair and twisting their hair and twisting their hair until eventually it's going to pop out and you lose the whole braid. That's how people lose their whole braid. You do not supposed to put a little piece of hair like this on no thick hair like this. That's going to pull your real hair right out. So you want to braid, well, section the hair and take a portion of the hair the same size. That way it'll be the same. And you won't lose any hair. Because people think, yes, the braids do supposed to make your hair grow, but it don't supposed to pull it out. I had a lot of bad experience with micros when I first started getting my hair done and wondering why I was losing my edges so much. My edges never grew, but it was because my hair was so thin and they was braiding it with all that thick pieces of hair, and it was weighing down my real hair and pulling it right out the socket. But what people get it wrong, or you could say get it twisted at, is when people get hair just because somebody else's hair look good and the same hair that you got don't look like theirs. It's because how they take care of it.
Right.
Everybody don't take care of their hair, and you can't get mad at your stylist because she did your hair like this, but tomorrow it's looking different. It's either how you slept, did you get it wet, you know, did you put oil in it, did you not put oil in it? Like, you gotta keep it up. You just can't. People get it messed up because they think just because they can wear it. So now, as I told you before, I already sectioned my parts off, so I can just go right into it. This is gonna be another 2 layers. I'm gonna do it as well, just like this. You always want to keep clean parting so it all look the same, real uniform, you know, so nothing won't be different. It's going to be real long. As you can see, once you start braiding, it start to curve over. So basically when it gets to the curve is where I cut off the excess hair at, which is at the bottom here. But now as I move up, I'm going to start putting it still in boxes, but moving the boxes over like bricks almost, so you won't see all of her scalp.
Okay.
Oh, and I also forgot to mention to you too, like also when you braiding with people hair and you braiding with the weave, sometimes their hair can get tangled, get nappy, you know, start looking funny. You know, I braid it out, straighten it out with the hair so it can just braid perfectly right inside the hair with no problem. That'll keep you from having a lot of flyaways, as I call them. And you're going to have, like, by me using the jam and the gel, it's going to look gunky, but it dries very quickly. So it's going to dry up. You see, like, that jam and gel make a difference. Because if you did it, it'd just be, like, dry. But that really makes a difference. I can't see myself doing it without it. It's like a unfinished product. So my mama ain't go to no store and buy none of that. She used some baby magic, some gel, and a comb, and some Vaseline. Okay, so this all we got, y'all. This is what we gonna use. And I learned how to use with that. And I just started using like real products because I was using household stuff. You ever wash your hair with dishwasher liquid? I did. It might keep your hair real dry, but it get it real clean. See, like I said here, you're gonna get these little hairs. I put gel on it, but you know, gel gonna hold down as much as it could, so you still gonna take the scissors and go in and cut it off, so you have a clean braid. I had to do it this way because I had kind of ran out of hair, so somebody went to go give me some hair, but just showing you how the front will be. I didn't do box braids in the top. This is just straight cornrows in the angle. Remember our trouble spot here. It's covered. And that's why I'm doing the braids on the angle, so we can also cover it even more. I'm almost done with the top, but I still have 2 sections to do a box braid. And this is my last and final section. I'm not going to do this as no box braids. So it's going to be regular cornrows, just straight to the scalp. The braids in the front will cover them, so it will look like box braids. It's all over except for the top, but it's not. So this is the last final braid. I'm going to cut the excess hair off, dip it in hot water, and she's done and good to go. Well, all hair does not take hot water. Some of it says it takes hot water, some of it don't say it. You're supposed to know which kind takes it and which kind don't. You can see, like, look, I'm gonna show you before. You see how it look? It's like it's like real ruggedy, like just nasty looking. And then as soon as you dip it in the water's gonna seals it down like the cuticle. You can go as low or as high as you need to go. I like to dip it as far as it can go, so I won't have to do as much cutting. You want to take it out. You want to be cautious because it is hot. The water, as you can see inside the cup, I'm going to show you inside the cup. The hair absorbs mostly all the water, which is a good sign. Once again, you don't want to cut straight across. It's going to look choppy. You don't want your ends to look choppy. You want them to be real smooth, real straight. Now I'm going to show you. You see how the hot water got it real smooth? It's not as bad as looking as it was at first, but I still have to cut some of the hair off. That's why it's so important to use the gel, so you won't have to cut as much off and just trimming. You shouldn't be cutting too much of the braid, because that means you're cutting too much hair. That means you did not do it right. You did not use enough gel. You want to make sure it's all laid down so you won't have to cut as much. Because as you can see, I'm trimming. I'm not even touching the whole braid. Just what I need. So these type of braids can last you a month. It can last you 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It depends on the person and how you tie your hair up. Always, always, always grease your scalp. Especially around the edges, because when it's tight like that, you do not want none of your hair to be lost, because sometimes people's hair is really, really thin, or it can bump up really fast, and you want to put the grease on there so it won't bump up and take your hair out. I grease my scalp personally every day. Every day. If I have braids, I grease it every day. It's not the time, but I do give it if I grease it too much, I give it a week to let it breathe and let it eat up that grease a little bit. But I like to use Sulfur 8 or Glover's Mane. I use Glover's Mane and Sulfur 8 together. I also use this again as well to lock and keep it from being frizzy. You can use gel to lay it down and wrap it up at night before you start your day the next day to keep it up, so we won't have any frizz. That's why I also use the gel for the bottom of the braids and also as the top, because the bottom will stay put. It's not going anywhere. You want to make sure you go to each braid and get all the excess hair off. You do not want to leave any excess hair off on there, because well, y'all saw my finishing product, and you can check some more pictures out, some more movies out, DVDs. See, no, I'm just playing. But nah, just check it out. Hairtakeover.com. Thanks. My name is Nico. They call me The Beauty. You can reach me on Nico The Beauty James on Facebook, or Beauty Love 69 at Instagram. And you also can watch more videos, different types of techniques on hairtakeover.com. So check it out.